attack is the G.I. Joe Mean Dog.
Nobody beats G.I. Joe, the G.I. Joe Mean Dog. Mean Dog's got a bad bite, looking for cobra and itching to fight. Nobody beats G.I. Joe, a real American hero.
Hey, welcome to Half the Battle. You know, there's a proud group of people within G.I. Joe, bonded together by one single, unshakable characteristic.
The absolute refusal to believe in shirts. From Quick Kick to Gung Ho, from Road Pig to Xandar, these guys are united in their never-ending war on modesty. Today, we're looking at another one of these disciples of the exposed chest. Meet Wildcard. This figure was released in 1988 with all original body parts. And I suppose we better start at the top, with his head. Wildcard looks like your friend's dad. In fact, he looks like everybody's friend's dad, in a 70s sort of way. Okay, this may be the weirdest description I've ever given, but it fits, wouldn't you say? Moving on, we really can't avoid talking about the torso, can we? Another Joe that takes a no shirt, no service sign as a personal challenge. You should know by now that I prefer my Joes to be proper military looking, but you know what? I think I'll give this one a pass. The look has a certain off-duty vibe that I can kind of appreciate. He looks like somebody tinkering in a motor pool after hours. The green paint on his jacket has a tendency to flake off, something that would normally annoy me, but here it actually adds to the worn-down look of the jacket. I mean, the guy's a slob. I'm a whole lot less forgiving when it comes to the pants, though. What is even the hell? Deep red pants on green? Yeah, nobody is gonna accuse him of being a fashionista. Green or black would have worked much better here. Also, he has a green gun molded on his leg. Why the hell is it green? I know that because of budget reasons, they could only put so many different paint colors on a figure, but they could have used the black from his wrists or the gray from his shoes. The green gun just looks like an error this way.
He came with a couple of accessories.
First of all, there was a green helmet that's really goofy looking. Although, it does sorta look like something a tank driver would wear. He also came with a freaking machete and a backpack to sheath it. Now that's awesome!
It makes no sense considering his function, but it's awesome.
Overall, I really shouldn't like this toy, and yet I do. Objectively speaking though, it's an average figure, bordering on goofy looking. And this was the only toy of Wildcard ever made. He hasn't even gotten a follow-up toy as a convention exclusive or an online collector's club edition.
Even though Japan did. Go figure.
Now, even though there was ever only one Wildcard figure, that doesn't mean that we're done talking about toys though, as this guy was a vehicle driver. Meet the Mean Dog. It's a vehicle that splits into 3 parts, and let's talk about vehicle names for a moment here. With most, the connection is lost on me. A Cobra Fang helicopter doesn't remind me of fangs. The Wolverine tank doesn't really resemble a Wolverine. Either one. But with the Mean Dog, yeah, I can sorta see it. Especially the front section of the thing. It does kinda make me think of a bulldog with a scrunched up face. Oh, and the front detaches, revealing another set of wheels, which make it look like a bulldog that's dragging its ass along the carpet. I should also mention the gun can snap off, as it did on my own toy here. The back part houses an impressive array of missiles in 2 launchers, though with the front part detached, it's left with a stupid-looking hole in the front. Then there's the large cannon.
Oh dear. How to put this?
A huge, massive private part exposed to the air, penetrating the skies.
Yeah. Look, when it comes to military toys, you can't help but get quite a few things in there that could be interpreted as phallic. It's just the way large guns look. Honestly, like Freud said, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. With this thing, though, it looks like it was designed by H.R. Geiger. Just close your eyes and listen to my description. It has a round base, a long shaft, and a cone-shaped tip.
And now you won't be able to sleep for a week.
Like I said, most times with G.I. Joe, a gun is just a gun. But if you presented this thing to a kid, you'd end up as a registered sex offender.
I mean, look, it's even the right size and everything. Well, not quite the right size. Quite a bit too small, actually. Not to scale at all. I have a huge wang.
Well, what else can I say about this thing? It's an artist's interpretation of a bulldog mixed with a dong. And there's something I thought I'd never say.
Moving quickly on, let's talk about the character of Wildcard, starting with the file card.
And I'm afraid his whole personality is just summed up by one character trait. He breaks things. And by that I mean, he breaks like all the things. From 8-piece dinner settings to immovable objects of cast iron. The file card makes sure to mention he even breaks delicate toys.
Yeah, you're gonna be in a box by yourself from now on.
I suppose it's fitting that my mean dog has a broken part. The only other thing the file card has to say is that the mean dog shares his affinity for destroying anything in its path. And should it ever break down, then Cobra has to deal with Wildcard himself, which they say might be against the Geneva Convention.
Hey, they actually acknowledge there's a Geneva Convention. Usually the Joes just pretend it doesn't exist.
Wildcard didn't feature in the cartoons, though the mean dog did get briefly animated for a commercial. So we can move right on to the comic, though only briefly, I'm afraid. He does show up. Hell, he even has a comic cover dedicated to him and the mean dog at one point. But his appearances just continue the file card's sole characteristic of him. Yeah, he's a one-trick pony. He is introduced in issue 72, along with several others, including Skidmark. Oh, Skidmark, your day will come. He is seen breaking stuff. Lots of stuff. In the issue, he and others are unsuccessful in stopping a Cobra agent from stealing a top-secret gizmo. He shows up again in issue 89, where he continues to break stuff, and is unsuccessful in keeping two other Joes from being captured by Cobra. So, in his most prominent appearances, he breaks stuff and fails at stopping the bad guys. Not really a love letter to the character, is it? Truth be told, he's more comic relief than anything else.
And that was Wildcard, and the mean dog. Dog. Here's my conclusion.
I'm gonna be honest here. I picked this character to give myself a break after doing 3 long reviews in a row. Wildcard is a very minor character I could briefly talk about while making some jokes involving genitals, and then I could call it a day.
But you know what? During my time working on this review, Wildcard and the mean dog have actually grown on me.
They both have character. Wildcard with his off-duty grease monkey look, and a bulldog-looking vehicle, phallic cannon notwithstanding. I was prepared to be completely negative this week, but I somehow got turned around.
Hell, I had to dig this out of my garage actually, just to show it to you. It isn't displayed with the majority of my collection. But you know what? I think I'll keep it around for a while now.
I guess the last thing I can say is that these toys suck considerably less than I at first thought. And that's some pretty high praise from a video reviewer.
See you next time, everybody.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a little number I tossed off recently in the Caribbean. Isn't it awfully nice to have a penis? Isn't it frightfully good to have a dong? It's swell to have a stiffy, it's divine to own a dick. From the tiniest little tadger to the world's biggest prick. So 3 cheers for your Willie or John Thomas.